if you want to make a lot of influence, the to be honest, there are only two career paths, which is actually like I mean, at that point of time, I figured out these are the two career paths. You either do business or you either go to politics.
It's interesting that how Nara Lokesh has been waxing eloquent as far as you as founders are concerned. He is obviously also encouraging a lot of the Indian ecosystem.
I think it's pretty amazing to see any leader encouraging us to basically take bold choices and to start like more and more companies. Apparently, like 46 days of every humans they spend on hold on support.
Today, we have a special guest with us. He, along with his co-founder Isha Manideep, is building the next generation of customer support, real-time AI agents that can understand emotions, resolve issues instantly, and scale across the world's largest enterprises. From DoorDash to global financial giants, Giga's agents are already replacing outsourced call centers with autonomous, multilingual, emotionally intelligent systems that handle millions of interactions each month. Joining us today, Varun Vumadi of Giga, the 25-year-old IIT Kharagpur graduate who just raised $61 million from Redpoint Ventures, Y Combinator, and Nexus Venture Partners to redefine what customer support sounds like in the AI era. Varun, a big welcome to Front Page. Hope you're doing wonderfully well and great to have you with us.
Hey, thanks a lot for having me. I'm doing great.
Good, yes, you're looking good as well. All right, so let's start this off because you know what, Varun, it's actually quite baffling, and many, of course, are quite baffled by this, that you and your co-founder are among the youngest founders leading a global AI movement. You're fresh out of IIT Kharagpur when you founded Giga. No prior startup, no corporate stint. So the first question is, how did two 24-year-olds convince DoorDash, Redpoint, and Y Combinator that they could build enterprise-grade AI from scratch? Let's start there and then we will get deeper into the journey.
Of course, it did not all happen at once. It took us like 2 years. Honestly, like the truth is, based on our earlier achievements, Y Combinator just took a bet on us and wanted us to build something with AI based on our past experience. And then we had to like prove ourselves a lot to get a customer like DoorDash and to get a investor like Redpoint to invest $60 million in us. So all of this thing happened did not happen together at a very small timeline is what I'm saying. It took its own time. Why took our own bet? Then we're going through this pivot hell for a lot of time where we don't know what we're doing, and then we landed on this idea, and this is like a series of events which took time to happen.
Varun, of course, congratulations on the fact that it's a wonderful start to a life journey and a long one ahead for both you and Isha. But you just mentioned very briefly in terms of your earlier achievements. I would like for you to maybe just highlight those earlier achievements for us and the viewers watching so that we all have context.
Yeah, of course. My co-founder, my co-founder Isha graduated third from entire IIT Kharagpur, and we both had like significant job offers, which are considered like top in both India and US in terms of pay salaries. And we both had also offers to join a lot of Ivy Leagues for both masters and PhD. We denied all of those things to pursue our passion to start like some hard problems in machine learning. And yeah, those are like on a high level what our achievements are.
Wonderful. Wonderfully said. All right. So I need to, of course, ask you this as a follow-up to the beginning of the journey. So was there we are onto something real moment very early on that you were able to, let's say, let go of all the offers, deny them, even the Ivy League aspects, and you believed in the passion, as you mentioned, and you started as an AI infrastructure company, then pivoted from building for developers to building for customers, Varun?
To be honest, I wish I had like insight from day one. It was never the scenario, to be honest. I just, I just, I just wanted to do hard challenges that have been entire. To be honest, my entire career, IIT was one of those things. That's why I pursued. Even during
Mm-hmm.
IIT, my co-founder we had like very different backgrounds. He was top of the class from day one, and
Mm-hmm.
I did not study that well in, like, to be honest, in my first 2 years. I picked up a
Mm-hmm.
lot in the last 2 years. Just wanted to like prove myself out, or like basically how best of a job I can get,
Mm-hmm.
or something like that. At the final year, we just thought, if you want to make a lot of influence, the to be honest, there are only two career paths, which is actually like you. I mean, at that point of time, I figured out these are the two career paths. You either do business or you either go to politics. These are the like
Sure.
high influence part. So I figured
Right.
out, let me try out business. And to be honest, I used to admire Elon Musk a lot and Steve Jobs. And I just decided that if I want to do this thing, what is the best way for me to do it? Then I came to know about Y Combinator, and by reading Paul Graham essays, etc. And that's when I decided, okay, let's try to go for it. And we decided to not to pursue any of these things after getting into Y Combinator. To be honest, it was not like a decision that we said
Okay.
that we let go of all of these things. It was
Mm-hmm.
a definitely a risk balancing choice. It's not that we just said that we're going to do a startup and we're going to let everything go. And
Mm-hmm.
even after getting into Y Combinator, it was not. I mean, we were like struggling for a lot of time as a company. To be honest, we were like
Mm-hmm.
trying out ideas. Everything is getting some traction. None of it was like truly taking off. But we saw real PMF. Basically, saw a very strong traction when a company like DoorDash and some other massive financial public companies using us, and them coming to us and saying that Giga is amazing, this metrics look awesome, and we love working with you guys. That's when I saw the real pull, and that's when I felt like that it was taking off. And why did we pivot, and what triggered the pivot? That's also a great question. As I was
Mm-hmm.
mentioning, we were really good at fine-tuning open source models. That is where we started. We were one of the early peoples to do fine-tune. If you're familiar with llama models by any chance,
Mm-hmm.
by
Mm-hmm.
Meta, we increased the context length from 4K to 32K for llama model by using. We did a lot of research around how to increase context length, etc., etc. But what we have figured out is, as OpenAI keeps making models cheaper and faster, there is
Mm-hmm.
no reason for you to fine tune a model other than if you just don't want to use closed source models, and if you only want to use open source, something like healthcare or defense, where you just don't want your data to go to OpenAI. That's the only use case which was there. So there was not a real market, to be honest. And what we have been seeing on the market was people were using our fine-tuned models for primarily two use cases, which is support and coding. So we thought support was a real market because people were trying to fine-tune models for support. So that's when we started and doubled down more. That is how it happened. It's a market pull, like you mentioned. Yeah.
Fair enough. I mean, I like the fact that there was this early realization that two fields tend to have a lot of influence, politics and business. And well, you chose business. Varun, well done. And the fact that everything is a challenge to you. But talking about politics, it's interesting that how Nara Lokesh has been waxing eloquent as far as you as founders are concerned. He is obviously also encouraging a lot of the Indian ecosystem to take probably a page out of your book. So first and foremost, how do you feel about something like that coming your way from Nara Lokesh? And there was a very interesting comment during one of our shows which we were doing on the investments in Andhra Pradesh, where a viewer had mentioned that Nara Lokesh is the Gen Z version of Chandrababu Naidu. So first, I'd like your immediate reactions on that. And of course, what do you feel in terms of what does it do for your motivation?
To be honest, I'm not that into politics, so I just don't know. But I haven't been following anything closely. I just saw the tweet as well. To be honest, that's my first time
Uh-huh.
seeing anything. Me, but I think it's pretty amazing to see any leader encouraging us to basically take bold choices and to start like more and more companies. I think it's amazing for leaders to recognize and fundamentally understand the impact that startups can have and asking and promoting them out. That's the extent of it. I know, to be honest. Yeah.
Okay, fair enough, Varun. But do you feel he's the Gen Z version of Chandrababu Naidu?
I I literally uh, graduated. I mean, I was studying in Vijayawada until like 16, and I was heads down in IIT, so I just don't know much. And I then went to IIT
Fair,
Kharagpur,
fair
and I
enough.
just do this. To be honest, I just don't know like what's the current chief minister and what are they doing to me to answer like the question. Yeah.
No, fair enough, Varun. You're keeping your head down and, of course, raising $61 million, which, of course, brings me to the next one, which is the agentic shift. Giga's product philosophy is quite clear, Varun. Don't automate scripts, build agents that think. So, how do you define agentic AI in customer support? And what can Giga's agents do that traditional chatbots or RPA couldn't?
Hey, I can't hear Sudhi.
Varun, can you hear me now?
Yes.
All right, let me repeat that question for you. The point is, Giga's product philosophy is quite clear. So, don't automate scripts, build agents that think. So, how do you define agentic AI in customer support first, Varun? And then, what can Giga's agents do that traditional chatbots or RPA couldn't?
Yeah, the first starting point so there. When I think every one of us has been on hold, and everyone has been like stuck with this endless loop of IVRs where you just need pressing buttons. Generally, the deflection rates are roughly around 10 to 15%, and people just get frustrated and everything. Compared to us, which is closer to 70%, and CSATs are significantly higher, people can just get their issues resolved. It's like chatting with a human being on the other side. Howard, you just want to get your issues resolved as fast as possible. Every company wants to do it, but with traditional IVRs, we all know how frustrating is it. You go and press the number. The even more frustrating part is they thought that was an advanced version of IVR where you have to say things and it doesn't understand it. Now you don't even know what to do. I mean, it might ask you to repeat a number due to accent or whatever it is. It might not be able to understand it, and it's just goes to this loophole of you trying to do 5 minutes, 10 minutes trying to navigate it, and all of those things have gone away. And whole times are, this is an interesting stat. Apparently, like 46 days of every humans they spend on hold on support.
Wow.
Which is and I mean, all of us hate hold time, and so that's one thing which goes away, which is a great thing. But the other thing is the resolution times are much faster, and instead of 10 minutes everything, we have seen roughly around 70% of reduction in resolution times across a lot of massive deployments, and experience has been also like significantly better. If you think of it, especially this is true a lot in call support more than chat support. If you enter hold times and if you are able to say that's it, is like a great experience. Yeah,
true. So thank you so much, Varun and Aisha, that you have given humanity collectively their 30 days back. Trust me, it's a big achievement. Of course, which I want to go a little deeper on this. So when we look at enterprises moving from human-led service desks to software-driven conversations, Varun, what's the biggest technical unlock that made this shift possible? Was it latency, RAG, contextual memory, voice synthesis? What really changed?
the biggest thing that changed is just like to be honest, it's just launch of like ChatGPT and generative AI models, which can, I mean, you can. It's not just on support. A lot of things, instead of chatting with a person, you can just ask it. It's basically the conversational nature is like the core thing change, which is like the magical thing, and everything else is on like top of it. As you know, we all faced the ChatGPT moment when we first interacted. You can basically have it as like a peer or like buddy beside you who you can trust to resolve the issues. That is like core unlock where happened, and a lot of unlocks happened on top of it.
Okay, fair. That gives us an interesting insight. The system behind the voice, which brings me logically to that point then, Varun. One of the hardest problems in enterprise AI is context, as we've all suffered because of the lack of it. How does Giga's retrieval augmented generation, which is RAG, and long-term memory design ensure that every response feels human, as you mentioned, accurate, and most importantly, emotionally aware? You've mentioned understanding customer voice with nuance. That is what you said, unquote. So how do you technically teach AI to detect frustration, urgency, or trust in a voice call and respond in a way that de-escalates, Varun, and not inflame?
Yeah, this is a great question actually. The way you do it is, as you're mentioning, we're fine tuning LLMs before this thing. We just take transcripts of your best support agents who have actually already done these de-escalations, who have already done it, and we
Okay.
use those transcripts to fine tune a model specific for the customer. So the LLM already knows how. Basically, it's inherent. It's basically inheriting the knowledge from the existing people who have done it to do de-escalation and everything. Based on the emotional aware, for while we are running speech to text in parallel, we run a algorithm to detect a pitch. Based on the pitch, we detect like the emotion, if the angry, frustrated, etc. If we feel the customer frustrated, we would basically trigger a thing which says that on an apologetic tone, hey, can you just calm down? Hey, I'm so sorry, and calms the customer down before going to the issue. This is how we do these things. Yeah, the we got like, a lot of advantage in this thing. The one of the just because of our prior experience with fine tuning.
Fascinating. Honestly, fascinating, Varun. You cracked a big problem. The DoorDash example, of course, because everyone is obviously talking about that. It's a huge achievement. As far as the partnership is concerned. So, was it a real stress test? Tens of millions of orders, real time routing, refunds, fraud detection. I would love for you to walk us all through what it took to deploy an AI agent in a system, and this is a very interesting number, 10 billion lifetime orders, and actually improve resolution times.
Yeah, the it has been pretty challenging to because the at DoorDash's scale, we saw like a lot of complex issues and everything coming through our way. One of a very interesting thing, the multi-party coordination, where we need to chat with the dasher. I don't know if you are familiar with the concept. Dasher is basically the person who delivers the order for you.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
Zomato delivery driver or like Zepto
sure.
person, and the other person is the customer. This is one of the happens a lot of times, which is very unique, and we saw with like DoorDash as a customer, which is let's say if you ordered food when you are at home, and you just went to office, and now you just ask like the dasher say, hey, I'm at my office, can you just deliver it to me? If it's generally on the way, a lot of the people are nice people, it happens to us a lot of it, they just deliver it there, but they won't be able to mark the order delivered in their app because they're outside the geofence, because it triggers the fraud system. Now what happens right now is the dasher calls the support, which is our AI agent. Our AI agent asks Dasher, hey, what's happening? And the Dasher says that, hey, I'm not able to mark the order delivered, but the customer asked me to deliver it to a different address. While the Dasher call, we check the chat history first. If we see that have you actually requested the address change on the chat? If not, while the Dasher is on the call, we make a parallel call to the customer. Right now, there are like two calls. And we ask the customer, hey, so did you actually request a new address? And if you say yes, then we go back and communicate that with the dasher and mark the order as delivered. If you say no, I'm not able to find it, then we go back to the dasher and mark, he's not able to find it. Can you tell me where it is? This is
Now
like
that is complex.
this cannot be done right now. If you want to do it right now, you need to place somebody on hold and go back and do it.
True.
Meanwhile, the dashers can get resolved other issues while I'm chatting with the customer. So yeah. These are some of the stress tests which we have been done, which are like a pretty complex use cases, where the advantage of solving the hardest and complex use cases is companies keep giving you more and more harder and complex use cases. That means that your product will keep getting better and better significantly faster. That's the biggest advantage I've seen.
Before, of course, Varun, I need to move on to the motivation and what it did as far as both you and Aisha were concerned, as far as mentally when you cracked this issue. Tell me this: was something like this as a use case impressive enough for DoorDash to start to partner, or what was that little magic moment that got them very excited? Would be nice for us to get context.
Why did I mean they were piloting
Yep.
pilot.
That's
And
why I'm
that's
asking. Yeah, if you could elaborate a little bit on that, it would be interesting.
yeah, it's just this is one of the things. The big thing for Giga is time to value is super low. You can go in live in less than 2 weeks. You don't need to build these policies. These are the two big issues that the
Nice.
company is in general. One is a lot of this knowledge is on customer support people head, which is not properly documented or written. The way our AI agents can you can build policies on for our AI agents is you can upload all of your transcripts of your human support agents at the same
Mm-hmm.
time all any written policies you have. We go through all of them and we suggest you that there will be a lot of mismatches. A lot of times humans just don't follow the policies. We show
Sure.
you these are the things which we see are mismatches. Can you correct them? You can just go and correct them in a day or two. Then we start this process where you can just start testing the agent. And once you start testing the agent, you can go live on 1% of the calls and you can see the metrics and you can go back and iterate. And once everything is done, you can start scaling up. This is the entire process on how the deployment works like. And we do it in less than 2 weeks.
Nice.
The primary reason is because of our product capability to do the transcript and everything and converting into AI agent policies. And the other thing is, as you know, AIs keep getting significantly better at writing code.
True.
And we have, from day one, we have been on the hypothesis that the majority of the integrations on the platform will be written by AI. We have this
Mm-hmm.
product called Atlas on our platform where you can just copy paste your API docs and it will write all the integrations for you.
Nice.
It's basically
Nice.
like a cursor inside our platform. So combined with all those things, it makes
Mm-hmm.
them very, very easier to go live, and it's very easy and a very obvious choice to test out. And that's one thing. The another most important thing, this is even more crucial, which is
Mm-hmm.
whenever you deploy an agentic system, it needs to affect a business KPI. I mean, for
Yep.
support, resolution rate or CSAT. Uh, for let's say for compliance, it can be like how many actually like fraud cases you are flagging. Every
Mm-hmm.
system, if it makes only sense if you're able to affect like a business KPI.
Sure.
And no matter what resolution rate you start, let's say you're at 40% or 30%, based on your policies or like the transcripts, you might not have APIs as well to build for all to build to solve all these issues. We tell
Mm-hmm.
you exact things that you need to do to reach to 98% resolution rate. We tell you these are the
Nice.
things that you need to do, and it which
Mm.
makes it easier for companies to like basically have a predictable path on how they can reach to their ideal ideal stage that they want to go. The iterative improvement, the self-improving part is very, very important because
Mm.
you're dealing with a lot of volume here, to be honest. Even
Yeah.
a couple of percent is millions of dollars in savings. So the iterative thing makes it very, very important. And yeah, these are the primary reasons. If I want to just boil down why Giga not competitors.
Well, brilliant, brilliantly put. Because Varun, that just gives us so much clarity on the fact that at the core of it all, you as founders understand that finally, for a customer, it boils down to what is the kind of efficiencies that you're bringing in, as you mentioned, and of course, it always boils down to the fact that show me the money. So, of course, how does that success in a client like DoorDash change your roadmap now, Varun? Do you now see Giga as a vertical AI company for support, or just as a broader platform for enterprise reasoning systems?
Yeah, again, this is one more great question because what happens in this scenario with enterprise customers is it's just we not just DoorDash, it's some another financial services, massive Fortune 500 financial companies that we work with. Once you go live and start like delivering like real results, they start showing
Mm-hmm.
all of their problems to you. They will just say, "This is one of my problem. Can you solve it?" I
Hmm.
got like 10 to 20 requests from them. Hey, you might be able to solve this. Can you solve this? Can you solve this? Which intentionally and you going and solving harder and harder problems, as I was mentioning earlier, it just makes your product
Mm-hmm.
better. And people just trust you more and they just keep opening like more and more problems to you
Sure.
that can help you make your basically a horizontal and like a broader play to automate
Mm-hmm.
any operation task in these massive companies. Yeah.
Which is very
It's
encouraging
basically
because, I mean, sorry, yes.
yeah, it's basically like performing well in this one task and everybody tries to give you more tasks because they just trust you. Yeah.
No, and honestly, Varun, if you ask me, that's a very positive outlook and it's a very forward looking kind of a vision. because it's something which is only going to keep helping you and your product, and consequently also assisting all your customers as you keep moving along, which makes it much more smoother as you keep going on to this journey. The business model. Customer support is one of the largest outsourced industries, Varun. $350 billion globally. So it seems like pretty much that you guys are attacking an entire market structure and not just building a product, as you just mentioned. So, what's the real pitch to enterprise? And is it cost reduction? Is it consistency or capability? Or as you have gone along in your journey till now, you've added more customers. Have any of those aspects changed, and have you added more things to your entire bouquet?
To be honest, all of them. That's the magical generative AI. It's not one thing. All the three things we can mention can be significantly better. It's not just better. Can get like a step function change. All of them will be super better. But the most important part that I personally care about is, as I keep repeating, I hate hold times, and I want to just deliver customer experiences reliably at scale. Consistent customer experience for all the customers, no matter when you call. That's the
You
biggest.
said it a few times. You said it a few times, Varun. I want to understand, did you go through an experience personally which completely horrified you
Oh
regarding the
yeah.
whole time?
When I moved to US, I was in. I mean, it happened a lot of times in India. This is one of the
Right.
recent things. I think it happened with my ICICI bank. I think there was. I was in a lot of whole time, and the other thing was when I moved to US, I remember calling their IRS for something.
Uh-huh.
The whole time was 6 hours.
Wow.
It's just not for me. It has happened for one of more of my friends. So yeah.
Fair
So
enough.
then it's not one incident, to be honest. That's like a very step function incident. It happens almost a lot of times.
On
You
a
just won't
regular basis.
10 minutes. But this is one of those things. It's not like I can hang up on it.
Yeah, true. And I'm pretty sure that comes from a very personal place. And thank you so much that it does, because you're helping humanity at large. So, how do you price AI agents, Varun, compared to, let's say, human teams? And how do clients measure ROI beyond call deflection? Very important.
No, again, this is the great question because you brought this point called deflection rate, and we price it per resolution. That is how we price it. And I personally think this is one metric. A lot of people get it wrong. Deflection rate is a very wrong metric to optimize for. I'm going to say why as well. A lot of customers just abandon the call. As I was just mentioning to you, if I'm in hold for 2 minutes, I would just like hang it up. People would call that as a deflected, but it's a really bad thing. I would not use the product. I'm basically have a bad experience with the company. That's not the thing that you need to optimize for. The thing you need to optimize for is the resolution rate. Can you actually truly solve the customer issue and without like a negative sentiment, which should be most probably like a positive or at least a neutral sentiment? Can you actually do this? The metrics you need to optimize for are resolution rate and CSAT. And a lot of people miss this metric called abandon rate, where we term for them, we just call them soft sufferers. They just don't want to deal with this thing. They just don't want to deal with VR and just drop off. But yeah, so we want companies to have higher resolution rate, not deflection rate, and we want them to have great CSAT. And the pricing model is per resolution. That is how we price, not deflection.
Okay. Fair point. Because yes, you're trying to give a much more positive experience to the customer. And finally, I believe every organization is working towards that end goal. The competition and edge. You mentioned this earlier as well, that you are ahead of the curve. Gary Tan said Giga beat every player, including Sierra and Decagon, to win DoorDash. So what's that one design principle that gives you that edge, Varun? Is it speed, product simplicity, or technical purity?
It's a mix of all of those things, Sudhi. But like as I was mentioning, the two main things are time to value and iterative improvements. But we are always better. I have seen these evaluations against us were competitors. We won almost in every single metric that they are compared against, like voice experience, interrupts, etc. We are at least as good or significantly better on almost all the metrics. But the core metrics, which are important are, like as I was saying, we fine tune models specifically for voice. The time to value is very low, and we have iterative improvements. Time to speed and iterative improvements are the major things. And I know, but I don't want to repeat a lot of other small differentiators. But our experience and latency is also low, and our voice experience is also significantly better compared to competitors. The way even we do our RAG is also different to reduce the latency. Yeah.
No, there's no harm in repeating it again and again, Varun. If you guys have worked so hard to make sure that you're edging out the competition, need to be proud of it. So, as agentic AI becomes the new startup gold rush, Varun, from Unify Apps to Mem Zero, and in India as well, there are tons of agentic AI startups which are being developed by seasoned veterans like, let's say, the founder of Myntra and Cult, Mukesh Bansal, and HubSpot co-founder and CTO, Dharmesh Shah. So how do you see Giga staying differentiated? One, and is your moat in infrastructure, data, or voice experience?
Yeah, it's a little bit across data and voice experience, but in general, the great point of moats is truly even OpenAI doesn't have a moat right now, other than like just keep building great products more and more, which is basically becoming obvious in AI if you think of it. None of these companies are like network effect businesses. It is a very traditional SaaS mode that you get, which is just you become stickier with inside these companies with integration and everything. That's the classic mode all the SaaS companies have. The thing with Giga right now, which makes it keep winning, is keep repeating it. We have a great product. We have like insanely good product by margin, significantly compared to anyone in the market, and we just could keep shipping great product. And we inherently inherit all the modes of every SaaS that has, which is stickiness, integrations, and iterative improvement. That's also one great mode to become a little bit more stickier. Yeah.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Which brings me to this then. The India advantage, Varun. You're based in Silicon Valley, but let's face it, your roots are Indian, IIT graduates, early tech, DNA, engineering first culture. So the first point or the first question that I would like to ask you on this is how much of that Indian engineering mindset influences how you build at Giga, and as Indian enterprises adopt Gen AI faster than ever, from BFSI to retail, do you see yourself, Varun, bringing Giga's agents to India very soon?
Two different questions. Let me answer each one of them individually. Indian engineering mindset. To be honest,
yes,
pretty much everything we learned is on IIT Kharagpur and India. To be honest, we haven't worked that much in US,
right.
So pretty much everything is inherited from our experience, and we have learned a little bit here by like chatting with more people, and of course, we have thing. But a lot of things is it's just amazing set of people, especially in IITs, to be around with. And it's just not there. It's actually helping us a lot in Bay Area as well. You'd be surprised the amount of people who are from IITs who are helping us, helping us in like multiple aspects. That's one thing. Regarding engineering, a lot of things has been learned, and we just keep learning more and more. But definitely the roots are there. And at the end, regarding the Indian enterprise adoption of Gen AI, I think that the adoption will go significantly up as LLMs get cheaper and cheaper. To be honest, an Indian call center agent for voice especially for voice is more expensive than using an AI. So in voice, I can totally see adopting AI, but in chat, it's sometimes closer. It's using an Indian call center agent or a chatbot is sometimes closer, but for some use cases, definitely cheaper. So the thing is, India will definitely adopt a lot of AI as models get cheaper and cheaper. I think there will be a lot of adoption. As you just clearly on your earlier question, cost savings is definitely less in India compared to other markets where human labor is higher. That's pretty much it. But we are pretty excited to. We are actually doing like a big office in Bangalore. So we're pretty excited to start. Yeah.
Wonderful. And what kind of talent are you looking at? May I ask, Varun, as far as Bangalore is concerned?
We are hiring people with our similar profiles, to be honest, and we're trying to attract the very spiky and obviously we're looking for somebody who has done something exceptional to bring to our team, mostly on engineering side.
Nice. Which brings me to this, the human aspect of it, because I mean, we've have had quite a deep dive, Varun, as far as making it more human. The fact that you've been able to reduce that entire whole time by almost 70%, which is where we all thanked you for saving us a month. You, of course, have gone through a horrid experience yourself. But what is the biggest challenge? You're building AI that talks and maybe listens better than we do. So what's the hardest part that makes machines emotionally intelligent without actually crossing into that very uncanny territory? And in a world where AI handles 90% of customer conversations, what remains uniquely human in communication? What's the heartbeat of that?
I don't have a great answer for this, to be honest. I keep thinking about it a lot. And I do think that human communications will always be amazing, and they just keep saying. See, I think that if you have thousands of 10,000 call center agents and all of them are able to answer your customer support calls, you should absolutely do it. It's a better experience. People would still prefer the human touch. But what is happening is people are having 1,000 agents when you require 10,000 people. That's where that AI is actually truly coming in. It's not
Very
the other way.
interesting.
If you're actually able to have it, at least as of now, my hypothesis, humans are still significantly better.
Okay.
It's not like operation stacking problems, to be honest. It's like you need 10,000 people, but you still have 1,000 people. Now you got to figure out a way. That's when AI truly comes in. And this problem is very clear in customer support, where there are a lot of spikes of volumes.
Interesting. As far as the overall understanding goes, looking forward, as you just mentioned, do you feel that will get? You just said that humans are better, but do you feel that with the way things are advancing, that will probably at some level or the other reach a point where you feel that maybe the mechanization aspect will take over?
Yes, I do feel that, to be honest. But yeah, I keep thinking about it. I just don't have a solid answer, but I definitely think that AI will be better on humans in multiple aspects, at least majority of the humans in multiple aspects across. It's just not around support. I think it would be across a multiple, where you hire a lot of people to do things, even for software engineering. A lot of those things, AI will be better. I'm actually already seeing this a little bit, where engineers are able to do 2x and 3x of their work with AI. What does that mean is you don't need a junior engineer. So a lot of those things,
Okay. Varun, I mean, I have to obviously say this again, and as many times as I would say it, it would be not enough, which is the fact that kudos to both you and Aisha for achieving what you have. But it brings me to this thought, which is that on founder identity, there's been a lot of social media noise. There's been a lot of backlash. There's been a very strange trend online where, what people reduce founders to in terms of the fact that how are they achieving their overall goals? They get judgmental about things which really honestly do not require any attention. So you've seen both appreciation and unnecessary commentary. How do you process that noise? Point one. And what would you like to say to young founders who feel judged for everything except their work?
Yeah, of course. To be honest, this was the first time even I faced that much of amount of hatred or racism against us on these platforms. To be honest, this was the first time. And a lot of people reached out to me in a very positive way. The thing is, it's just there is only one thing that matters, that we got to truly win and everything else goes away. I think that's the philosophy I've taken. You just ignore the entire noise and you just keep winning and again. And if you have actually made any true mistakes and which are from those things, you should just correct them. I think that's the approach that we have taken. I think that's the approach. I mean, it's very common for a lot of us to do it in a very small scale, where a bunch of us are doing it. But yeah, I think it's just ultimately the only thing which matters is you winning and building a massive company. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Everything else goes away. You just ignore it and you just keep building and keep winning.
As a follow-up to that, I'd like to ask you this, Varun. You had mentioned earlier that, you had great offers, both you and Asia, in terms of the Ivy Leagues. You had great offers as far as companies were concerned. Great way to actually kickstart life, right? But you guys took the harder road. So I'd like to ask you this. What's that one thing that you would like to wish students understood about taking a calculated risk like you both did early in their careers? What would you like to say to them?
Pick a very ambitious goal and try to get it as much close to it as possible. Almost always, even the failure point will be way higher than your success point. It's just like if you're aiming for like a 10 lakh job or something like that, aim what does it take to get a 1.5 crore job? Why can't I get that? And just
Nice.
list out all the things that you don't have and work on them. It That makes you land at least a 70 lakh job or whatever it is. That one thing, that philosophy has actually worked on my life a lot. And I don't know. I think that's one thing. Just being significantly more ambitious, where it's more super uncomfortable, helps a lot because it makes it a lot clearer. So it's just, let's say if you're getting 10 lakhs, if you want to get 1.5 crore in India, there are not much options. There are only a couple of high frequency trading firms will pay you that much money. Now you go back and figure out how to get into those things because they take a look at math, they take a look at these things, and they look at code forces, etc. You get good at them and you apply to them. Yeah, if you don't get it, at least you'll get Google. Yeah,
Beautifully said. Beautifully said, Varun. And of course, I must say that the secret sauce behind all of that, you said it so easily, but when you did it, I'm pretty sure that's one thing that's been very strong in you and will forever remain that way is grit, is not giving up. Because a lot of people tend to go through that as well. On advisors and board strengthening, Varun, you now actually have two Snowflake heavyweights, Chris Degnan on sales and Lars Christensen on demand gen, guiding Giga. So most early stage startups, as we know, don't really get this kind of access to this level of go-to-market talent. So what does it signal about the kind of company you're trying to build? Point one. And how do you balance absorbing their world-class playbooks while still staying true to your own founder instincts?
Of course, this is that one more thing. To be honest, like the second point you three told, I'm still figuring it out how to do it.
Okay.
The first point is, to be honest, we have the best product in the market. We know it because companies like DoorDash are very meritocratic. They just won't pick a bad product. And the only reason that Giga would not win is by having a bad distribution or like losing in go to market to the companies with mediocre products. That's the reason we are super excited to have Chris Degnan, who has actually built a world-class sales org with Snowflake to us. How do you make sure it's not gone? To be honest, we both are engineers and product people. We don't know sales fundamentally. We just pitch the
Sure.
product, let product do the job. And I think we're always the people. We'll always stay to the core. At the same time, we're trying to build a sales muscle in the company that will make sure that we don't just lose to mediocre products because people just don't know about us. People don't even know that we exist. Yeah, that's the thing. I don't think we as a people would change. I don't think I would become like an amazing sales guy anytime in the future. I'm just an engineer and I just talk product.
But you do the most important thing, I must add, which is to make sure that that heart keeps beating wonderfully well, which is always the product. Anyway, finally, the $100 billion thesis, Varun. If Giga proves its thesis, it could actually easily become a $100 billion plus company within a few years. So what are you really collapsing isn't just customer support, it's actually the entire operations, engineering loop that actually slows enterprises down. Today, as we have discussed it at length, operation teams describe problems which engineers interpret, then build, review, and repeat. Weeks of friction, endless back and forth. But in your model, as I guess pretty much our viewers are also aware by now, an operations lead just talks to Giga. The AI instantly builds version 1, iterates it in minutes, and ships live. So the question is, are you very quietly building the foundation for AI native enterprise operations, Varun, where teams don't just automate tasks, but build and ship software through conversation? And if that's true, how far are we from seeing Giga-powered companies that run end-to-end without traditional developer bottlenecks?
Yeah, the core idea is, as I was mentioning, if you just keep doing solving harder and harder problems and doing a great job, enterprises just keep coming you with more and more of their problems. That is automatically making the product more horizontal. We just want to build a platform where companies can, any massive company with a lot of people will have policies on how they should do their jobs. Companies can write their policies out and can iteratively improve on those policies. And the question which you have asked is a great thing. We want to make sure that the companies, how these companies are rebuilt, if they are basically building the company from scratch right now with AI, and how would they
Mm-hmm.
like, how would all the department and everything there. We're trying to build a product which makes where like the next $1 trillion companies get built, their entire ops should like run on top of Giga. That's one thing. How far are we are seeing that entirely Giga powered companies?
Mm-hmm.
Question, because it all ties to this one thing. If you do a great job, I'm actually chatting with a couple of Fortune 500 CEOs on this. We are
Mm-hmm.
having like execution opportunities across multiple ops verticals where there is a significant financial spend and there's a significant opportunity to automate and make it better. Uh, we're a couple of years away. I would say like 2 years away, where we take over like significant ops things in these massive companies. Yeah.
Wonderful, wonderful. It's been truly brilliant speaking with you, Varun. I must say that it's for me the takeaway has been that it's been so simplistic. Your journey has been just about not complicating life, understanding a problem, sorting it out, and moving on and on and on, and always being open and embracing challenges and trying to challenge yourself while you've been at it. Of course, from Front Page and the entire team here at Front Page, we all wish you and Asia a very, very great journey ahead. All the luck to the both of you. And the fact that that little dream that you're wondering about in terms of becoming $100 billion plus company, I don't see it from your voice and the way you're going about it, that it is going to be too distant a dream. Thank you so much for being on Front Page.
Yeah, thanks a lot for having me.
All right. Well, when two co-founders who've been, of course, 25-year-olds from, Kharagpur raised $61 million for an AI voice agent that beats the best, trust me, it's not just luck. It's actually a signal that the AI revolution isn't coming from corner offices or ex-Googlers anymore. It's actually coming from dorm rooms, data labs, and every young Indian who dares to build the future. This is Giga's moment, and we should all get up and applaud that. And maybe applaud even louder because it's India's too.